Alright, well, hey there guys. This is gonna be my first ever deck tech video for you guys. This will be put up after my other deck tech just for the sequentialness of the pre-releases that I've gone to. So I'm just gonna go and do a quick little overview of what deck I played and what cards I chose to play and why. I'm doing this one first mainly just because, well, A, I did better, and, well, B, I was just really excited with the pool that I got. So, also, I'm recording this out of my dorm room, so hopefully it stays nice and quiet for you guys. I know it gets kind of loud around here, and also, I have a very interesting setup that, with as far as the camera goes, to go and try to get this angle going on. It's at like a 80-degree angle facing downwards. I'll get a picture for you guys in the actual video. So anyway, so here I go and I have my cards that I played with laid out in a form of by converted mana cost, so 1, 2, 3, 4 and up drops, and then my artifacts, and then my land base. So for this one I chose Simic. Some of you guys may know I'm a huge Simic fan. Apologies for the shaking camera, it's not very stable. I'll do my best with that. But I'm a huge Simic fan, so I didn't get to go Simic in the first pre-release, so I made it a point to go and get it in the second one. So I did, and I got a pretty crazy pool. Alright, so bringing up the 1-drops, I started with my most favorite one was this Spire Tracer, and I'm probably going to be doing an overlay of the actual cards for you guys to go and see. It's just your 1/1, can't be blocked except by flying or reach. Pretty awesome at evading. Can't be hit by Gruul Charm, at least whatever that ability with the flying is. I forget if it's 3 damage to all flying or just flying can't block. But it evades the Gruul Charm, and it's just a really strong turn 1 play. Next one we got here is Cloudfin Raptor. He's your 1-drop 0/1 flying evolve Simic Grand Master, one that people are very excited about, and I wasn't too excited about him, but I mean he works. He goes and he gets in a few extra points where other cards may not be able to. So the last card in the 1-drop slot we have is Burst of Strength. So he's your it's a 1-drop instant that puts a +1/+1 counter on a creature and untaps it. First of all, great combat trick. Second of all, whenever you're talking about evolve, I mean, in this deck, I mean, we're usually topping out at about 4 power or 5 toughness in the case of whenever we're trying to evolve a elusive Krasis. So you know, eventually it just runs out of steam, and then bigger creatures go and impose an issue for you. But with Burst of Strength here, it just keeps your creature stronger, and then you usually get to pick someone off in a combat trick. So then we'll move on to our 2-drops. Alright, so I ran 1 Spell Rupture, 2 mana instant, counter a spell unless the spell's controller pays X, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. Now, I usually, I think the greatest that I ever got X up to was 6, and that was in one of my most perfect games. But still, it does great. Okay there guys, sorry about that. Wasn't expecting that, and then turns out I don't think I have a recharging thing for my rechargeable battery. So yeah, I will have to, so the picture that you see at the end will instead be the it will instead be the much more improvised camera setup that I have going on. So sorry about that. Sorry that the cards got a little messed up. They don't look all neat and stuff anymore. So where was I? All right. So Spell Rupture, right? Okay. So so it's actually a very good counter spell. I think it's better than Syncopate. I mean, like, being in a green-blue deck with green supposed to be big creatures, it definitely fits in. I found that it was very, very good, and didn't know, there was one instance where it didn't get such a great creature, but usually it does get the right kind of card. Alright, so next up, card that we got in our guild pack was Simic Charm. Alright. Yep, Simic Charm. I hope this isn't upside down for you guys. That would suck. Would it be like that? Oh no, I don't know. Okay, looks like we will just be doing the card overlays. Alright, so anyway, so Simic Charm is just, wow, that would be really cool if it was from my perspective. But anyway, sorry, this is a brand new camera, my first time ever recording something serious with it, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on. So, alright, so Simic Charm, right. So, I ranted about this card in my pre-release show on my other channel. You know, it was I didn't find it very good, but of course, you know, whenever, I think also at the time that I was trying to compare it to Boros Charm, which is just such an overpowered card, especially for a charm. But so the Simic Charm actually was really, really fantastic. It is just an answer to absolutely anything that your opponent wants to do. Whether that's kill your creature, kill your Fathom Mage, I mean, it's just a fantastic card to have. So, or even if they're trying to enchant, buff, extort their creatures or whatever, it's just great. It did a lot of work for me. It kept one of my bombs safe at one point. It was a guaranteed pump spell for a win one time. It was a guaranteed save it from combat one time. I really underrated it. I think I was thinking more for standard play, but in this case, the Simic Charm was a great addition. Okay, so the next card we have is Shamble Shark, right? So it is a 2/1, 2-drop with Flash and Evolve, green-blue. Okay, I mean, he's great. He made excellent synergy further down the line, which I'll show you guys. But I mean, he's just great just to kind of surprise them, you know, kill off their 2-drop extorter that they think that they can just get in for free with. You know, just great. And then once he like evolves twice, then he evades all the 2/2 creatures, and then you know, and then like once he goes and he evolves 3 times, he's just absolutely doing work. So Shamble Shark was great. Moving on. So we had Frilled Oculus. Okay, so, oh no. Oh no. Okay. This was so nice, and now it's not. OCD. Anyway, okay, so Frilled Oculus, he was a one-of, he was in the guild pack. I mean, he actually never came up in my, he actually didn't come up in any of my tournament games that I played with, but he did a pretty good job in the tournament games that I played in. I mean, he goes and he evolves Shamble Shark, he evolves Cloudfin Raptor, and I mean, I rate him highly. Next card that was actually ended up being a 3 of because of just how awesome it was Hydroform. Okay, right? So, let's see. Be like that for you guys if I figured it out. Oh god, this is weird. Okay, so Hydroform, right? 2 mana to go and turn one of your lands into a 3/3 flyer, and until the end of the turn. So basically, it's 2 mana for, or sorry, it's basically 3/3 because you gotta go and have your land that you're animating untapped, right? So, I mean, it's an excellent combat trick. It's an excellent way to go and squeeze in the extra damage. I'll tell you guys of an awesome play that was had with another guy that I played against that occurred with this, and so yeah, it's a great card. It can help you get lethal. It can help you get just surprise one of your opponent's key creatures that's just getting in for extra damage. And then our last 2-drop was Hands of Binding. This is just an absolutely fantastic card. 2 mana sorcery, tap down a creature, it doesn't untap it. It doesn't untap during the next untap step. And Cipher. So, I mean, like, you guys have already seen Cloudfin Raptor and also Spire Tracer, which are basically, that have really great evasion. This is a great target for it, but I mean, there's even greater targets once we move along. So our next section of 3 drops. Okay, so we played some Crocodauros, right? Interesting. He's a crocodile frog. Never ever gonna hear that ever again. 3-drop 1/3 reach evolve. Okay, so where you don't really realize it unless you analyze the set heavily, or unless you unless you played in the pre-releases, but there were a lot of 2-power creatures that were never really able to get up to 3 unless their controller's really committed to trying to make them better. So first of all, he's just alone, he's a great squishy tank to go and block anything that they have for the most part. And then he starts evolving and he just becomes an absolute tank. And not only that, but you're able to swing freely with him. Our next 3-drop is Death Cult Rogue. He's the 3-drop Dimir 2/2 that it can only be blocked by Rogue. So I mean, he's basically unblockable unless you're facing another black or another Dimir deck. So, I mean, he's another great target for Hands of Binding. He did excellent work for me. Certainly something that people weren't really expecting in my games. Awesome. Okay, so our next guy is Elusive Krasis. 3-drop 04, unblockable. Sweet. I mean, he may see standard play. I certainly like him. He did a lot of work for me. He's another Hands of Binding target. Just another way to push through a little bit extra damage. It was kind of difficult to evolve him past the 2nd time, but eventually, I mean, if nothing else, he's a blocker. He's a great blocker, where in a set where there's no real death touch per se. And yeah, like I said, another Hands of Binding target. The last 3-drop we have is Simic Flux Mage. 3 mana, 1/2 evolve, 2 to tap him to move a +1/+1 counter from Simic Flux Mage onto another target creature. I never actually got a chance to play with him. Usually he was like a top. I only ever got him once in a game, just off of a top deck late game. Didn't evolve anything. My board was that advanced, and then the game didn't go on long enough for him to evolve either. So I mean, pretty alright overall. I mean, obviously I didn't see him do much. He's alright. I don't think he's gonna see any standard play, but he's alright. So, so then let's move on to the 4 drops. I'm gonna save her for last. Alright, so we have Aetherize. Okay, so I have a ton of guys that are unblockable, and I found that out quickly in my tournament games. So Aetherize is great whenever you don't have a play on turn 4 or turn 5, whenever their board is also advanced as well, because I mean, you got unblockables, you're probably not blocking, I mean, like, they just go and they attack with their 3 creatures, and then you Aetherize and bounces them all back to their hands. It was a pretty good card, pretty big plays came out of it, and my camera got turned again. Sorry for the shaking. Okay, hold on, let me fix this. Okay, hopefully that is good enough. Sorry for the angle to keep on changing, guys. Okay, so Aetherize is, again, a pretty awesome card. Great for defense, especially whenever I'm just going ham on their life total. Next card we have is Ivy Lane Denizen. Okay, he's a 4-drop 2/3 that whenever another green creature enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. It's a free evolve for anything even without evolve. So I mean, Shamble Shark triggers this, Croconura triggers this, Elusive Crasis triggers this, and Spire Tracer triggers this. He was just a great synergy with a card coming up, really just a great way to keep on evolving your creatures. You know, like, they got to a point of where my creatures couldn't evolve anymore. They were at like 3 power 2 toughness, 4 power 3 toughness, something like that. I mean, we're mainly talking about the Shamble Shark here. And then, I mean, their creatures are able to trade with that, and you don't really want that. But, I mean, he was able to just keep on evolving and was a great target for that. Next card up, we have Keymaster Rogue. I think he's supposed to be Dimir, but I played him. 4 mana, 3/2, unblockable. Whenever he enters the battlefield, bounce a creature you control to your hand. He was another great card. Really synergized with the Denizen, because, I mean, say I have a Shamble Shark or a Spire Tracer with no counters on him, and Denizen is out, just bounce the Shamble Shark that's back, as long providing he's not evolved, of course. Just bounce him back and then play the Shamble Shark again at the end of their turn, and you know, it's triggering Ivy Lane Denizen to go and trigger with the next card that's coming up. And I mean, he's just 3 power unblockable is pretty ridiculous. And then, I mean, you have the option to even start pumping the Rogue with the Denizen. Really great card. Alright, so of course we played with our promo. Fathom Mage, 4 mana, 1/1, evolve whenever a counter is put on her, draw a card. I mean, I'm sure you guys are very familiar with the card. So, she was awesome. You know, like, going into this, I wasn't a huge fan of Simics, like their playstyle and stuff, but oh my god, you know, like, this did work. It generated so much card advantage for me. The only time that I lost was whenever someone shut this down right away against an Orzhov deck, but, like, it just generates so much. And then you have the Burst of Strength, putting a +1/+1 counter on it for free, essentially, you know, not evolving, drawing you cards. You have the Ivy Lane Denizen that's putting counters on her to draw cards. In a desperate situation, you got Keymaster Rogue to bounce her back and then play her again to, you know, yeah, I mean, of course all the counters fall off, but then she's right there, fresh again, for you to start putting counters on her again and gaining even more card advantage. I'd say that that's only in a total board stall, but regardless, she's fantastic. I figured between Burst of Strength, Simic Flux Mage, and then Ivy Lane Denizen, she was just getting counters all the time, and it was fantastic. Alright, onto our 5 drops. We have Rust Scarab, 5 mana, 4/5. I think this is upside down for you guys. That Oh god, I hope I'm not gonna have to re-record all this. Anyway, so 5 mana 4/5. Whenever he becomes blocked, destroy target artifact or enchantment defending player controls. Awesome. Unfortunately, I didn't see a lot of artifacts or enchantments being played against me, but still a great card. It's kind of bomby, and he also was just like the last hit for Evolve. Really, really awesome. And then lastly, we have Mystic Genesis. 5 mana, counter target spell. Put an XX green ooze token onto the battlefield where X is that spell's converted mana cost. Awesome card. I said so in my pre-show, and it really came through. I mean, he countered their 6 mana bomb that just secured the game for me. Plus, it put a 6/6 ooze out that triggered the Denizen to go and put a counter on one of my unblockable guys, and was just awesome. Fantastic card overall. So the last for non-land cards, we have a Prophetic Prism, came in the guild pack. 2 mana, enters the battlefield, draw a card. It's a reprint. And then 1 mana, add a mana of any color to your mana pool. Was pretty solid overall. I mean, it's mana fixing. I mean, granted, I'm only 2 colors, but it was great mana fixing for the one time that I needed it. But then it was also just to cycle you through a card, you know? It was just great overall. Okay, so now we're going to talk a bit about the land base. So we got the Simic Guild Gate. Only got one of them out of the guild pack, which was okay. And didn't really see that much of it, but it was good to have. And then we were running 8 forests and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 islands. And just the only reason that I chose more forests than islands, more islands than forests, was we got the double blue in the Death Cult Rogue. We have the double blue on the Mystic Genesis, and then we lastly just have a whole bunch of blue spells in our 2-drop area. I mean, it was necessary. All right, so if you count this all up, I think I was running 43 cards. Oh my god, I know. You know, I broke one of the cardinal rules of Limited. Don't play more than 40 cards, but I mean, just all these cards were so great and synergized together. I mean, if I had the choice to take stuff out, probably would have taken out Simic Flux Mage, and then, I mean, that's basically it. I mean, I guess the Prism was alright, but I mean, yeah, I mean, the Flux Mage was really the only one that I didn't see at all. Or the Frilled Oculus, but you never know how they would have performed unless they actually started performing in general. So I mean, you know, 43 cards, it was okay. I went 2-1. All right, so in the first match was against a Demir. Said he didn't get all that great of a pool, but he was definitely able to stall for a while. So I mean, just Fathom Mage is what took the game away from me. He didn't have any way to early remove it, and I had a few unblockables that were just getting in a bit, and she was just great for generating card advantage to push everything through, evolve stuff, and then push them through. Really, really awesome. Came pretty close to milling me though, which was scary. He just needed 2 more mana on one of his mill spells to go and hit my last 2 lands, and then it would have been over with. But you know, just the sheer unblockable, he couldn't do anything about. Game 2 was against an Orzhov deck that did really well. Extort took the game away for him. I mean, 3 Extort on the field was what sealed the deal for him. 3-point life swing every single cheap spell he cast. Nothing that I could really do about it. I mean, put up a great fight. It was a 2-1 game. 2-1 as far as games go. And, I mean, just one game stumbled on lands. I had to mull from 7 to 6, and for my prior pre-release, I didn't want to go down to 5, so I ended up with a 4 forest hand and expecting to draw into islands, but always remember, you will not draw into it. Just like in any game, if you don't see them, they are right behind you. Period. Cardinal rule. Learn it. So yeah, that ultimately sealed the game for me. So then lastly, the last game, I don't know why they only did 3 rounds, but last game, it was against another Simic. He was a graduate from RIT, so it was cool to just to talk with him and, you know, go and compare our Simic decks. He was Simic and he splashed a mirror. And, you know, we just had this interesting board state. Now, I'll admit, I had a slight advantage, but, so, like, what happened was, we were sitting next to another game that was going on, and so we, chose to, yeah, just, it's whatever. I can probably edit that out, but we'll see. Comedy's always good. So, we were sitting there talking, they were talking about on how overpowered the Boros Charm was, and then since it was a Simic on Simic game, the other game went and asked us about our Simic Charm and what that did, and so we told them. I didn't really get a chance to express my opinion about it. Of course, it was a wrong opinion, however. They were listing off the abilities. They were like, okay, so it's a giant growth, and then it is and then I jumped in, I said, it's a Mizium skin, it gives all your creatures hexproof, and then, or sorry, permanence, and then, right at that moment, I just happened to be looking at my opponent, and he took a quick look at his hand directly at a card, and, like, where the text would be, and, I mean, oh, great toilet sounds, directly where the text would be, and so I was, like, 90% sure he had a Simic Charm in his hand. But, I mean, it wasn't that much of an issue until we got to the point of where I was at 8 life, he was at 7 life. I had 3 unblockable creatures on the field, and then that he couldn't deal with, to my knowledge, and then I had a Hydroform in hand, make your land a 3/3. So right, so like he's sitting at 8 life. I have sorry, he's sitting at 7 life. I'm at 8. I have 6 power on the board or so, and then so I knew about the Simic Charm. He had a what's it called, a Dimir Keyroom, a 5/5 guy that bounces back to his hand whenever it enters combat, well, deals combat damage, and then a 2/3 guy that I didn't have anybody that could actually kill him. So like I went and I swung in with a Cloudfin Raptor, my Death Cult Rogue, and I think a Spire Tracer or something like that, and then plus the Hydroformed land. And so like if he had a Simic Charm in his hand, he could have I forget the exact combination, but it would have been basically swing in, like animate the key room, swing in, and then use Simic Charm to pump the unblockable Dimir key rune, and you know, it would have been game. So I just decided to go for it. I had no idea he had 2 cards in hand. I didn't know what the second one was, so I just decided to go for it. I swung in. He had to use the the charm to bounce the Cloudfin Raptor back to my hand, and then and so dropped him down to 1 life. Right, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, dropped him down to 1 life, and then on his turn, he played, God, I forget what the green card is. I think it's like Vile Rebirth or something like that. I might have it in here. Might have gotten it in my pool this time around. Not sure if it was the first or second time. But, I mean, let's see, it should have had all the, sorry about the shaking. Okay, yeah, Wildwood Rebirth. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Yeah, so 2 mana, right? So like he did that, and brought back his what's his face? Some creature card that was problematic, and swung at me, and because I was tapped out of everything, and swung at me and also dropped me down to 1 life, but then I had the unblockable next turn, and he was like, I tried to go for it, but I mean, you got me, you know. So, and then the second game, he stumbled on lands, he mulled twice, you know, not the greatest way to win, but I mean, it happens, you know. He stumbled on lands, mulled down to 5, and then just didn't have an early game play, and I got a Cloudfin Raptor, Spire Tracer, Death Cult Rogue, Elusive Krasis, and just hammered away at his life total in 6 or 7 turns. And I felt bad, but there was nothing he could do. So I was going to go over the other cards in here, the other Simic cards I had, but I think you guys have listened to me rant for long enough. So I'm going to cut it off here. Let me know any advice, any tips, any, you know, related to the video or related to my choices. This was a great deck. I can't believe how much work it did. I was so excited that I got it. But yeah, you know, it won me 3 packs, which was the other thing that I was going to do. So it netted me a Fathom Mage, a normal Fathom Mage, a Immortal Servitude, and then that night I also traded for a Breeding Pool, and I mean, you know, got the Breeding Pool, looking to make a green-blue-black deck for the new standard, and I also got a foil Simic Charm, you know, probably not worth much, but pretty darn cool. I mean, you know, you can say you have a foil Simic Charm. There was another rare, I forget what it was, my apologies. Yeah, at this point I'm kind of trying to put the decks back together and everything that I got for you guys, but I would have loved to have opened the packs just to show you guys, but you know, that'll be for next time. That'll be for an F&M or something. So and then in addition, I also traded for some oh, there you go, here's the third one. It's a Foundry Champion, pretty darn good. The Boros promo, non-promo, pro bono, promo. So yeah, Elusive Krasis, Gruul Charm in there, Pit Fight, all great limited cards. So yeah, and then I also got to trade for a few Biovisionaries, and so I have 3 of the 4 that I want for my deck, you know. And there's a Skullcrack mixed in there, pretty good. So yeah, that'll be all for the Simic video. I should get the Gruul video recorded within the next day or so, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz, and I hope you guys have a great day or night, whatever you prefer. Peace.